For the first time in 40 years, a Japanese prime minister has arrived in Tehran to meet with Iranian officials. So Prime Minister Abe is using the trip to warn both the United States and Iran to cool their heels before the situation gets out of control, not just between the two countries, but especially with what's going on with the fighting in Yemen as well, where Iran is on one side, Saudis are on the other, U.S. is on the other. It's a story that bears covering. Meanwhile, there's something else that's going on in the region. So Syria, we got this information late last night and have been following up on it. Syria is confirming that last night it had to shoot down a number of Israeli missiles to stop attacks that were incoming. By the way, I want to show you something. Take a look at this map that we put together for you, and we did it right there geographically. There have been 6 major incidents between Israel and Syria in the last 3 months. April 13th, Syria intercepts an Israeli strike in Hama. June 3rd, Israel bombs an Iranian base in Homs. May 17th, Syria intercepts an Israeli strike on Damascus. May 28th and June 2nd, Israel hits targets in Quneitra. June 12th, Syria intercepts an Israeli attack. Joining us now is former Pentagon official Michael Maloof. Few people know more about this area than the gentleman you're about to hear from here. Is this thing escalating? And if so, to what end?
Yeah, it's definitely escalating. That's why you're seeing someone like Prime Minister Abe of Japan rushing there, because there is a crescendo building. And you're seeing the fact that separately of all this, Trump is pushing $8 billion to the Saudis. And what I'm really concerned about is that those arms, $8 billion in arms, going to the Saudis at a time that we're escalating with Iran, even though he's saying, yeah, I want to have a talk without conditions. Well, that doesn't fit into the mantra and message of John Bolton.
Help me,
or Netanyahu of Israel.
Help me as an American understand something, because I don't get this thing where I just chalked off 6 or 7 different attacks where Israel is attacking Syria. Yeah. Syria is using an anti-missile defense system, and this keeps happening like a couple of times a month. Anywhere else in the world, if somebody's attacking somebody, you're in full-out war. What do you call this?
Well, it is aggression, and it's against all UN resolutions. And what the Israelis claim is that they're trying to hit Iranian targets. The reality is they're killing Syrian military right now, and what's really disturbing is that those sites that you talk about, there could be at those military facilities the presence of Russian troops. And if they get killed, that's a problem. And the Russians frankly, their general staff is getting fed up with it.
That's what's so complicated about something like this. I mean, you just mentioned that essentially Iran is in Syria.
Yeah.
Israel is attacking Syria, but they're using the pretense of they're really attacking Iran.
And Hezbollah targets as well.
And Hezbollah, which is a part of Lebanon?
Yes, it's part of Lebanon, but they have forces inside of Syria. But they have facilities for supplies and what have you, and that's what the Israelis are trying to hit. They're really trying to send a message, and at the same time trying to minimize that. But what's going to happen is that there could be repercussions as a result.
And then, as you mentioned, Russia and the United States are also involved, and obviously the Saudis are involved because somehow you mix in with the situation in Yemen. Yeah. How close are we to having this turn into a full-edged conflagration of some sort?
Well, any spark could cause it. I think.
Cause what? Cause what?
It could cause just one episode could create a havoc throughout the entire region.
So in other words, Israel attacks Syria.
Yeah.
The missile is not stopped
Yeah.
with using the anti-ballistic missile defense system or whatever the heck it's called, and it hits and kills a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Syria says we're not going to have this. They attack back.
They've been showing restraint. In fact, they could have done it. In fact, they were asked not to retaliate.
So okay, let's continue the scenario. Israel attacks. Syria attacks back. Iran fights on the side of Syria. Who helps? The United States fights on the side of Israel.
Yeah.
Russia gets on the side of Syria and Iran as well.
Correct.
That's the fear.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's a powder keg ready to blow up at any time.
What's keeping it from blowing up?
People like Abe and others who are trying to talk to leadership in Iran to calm things down, trying to talk to Trump to go and negotiate. But John Bolton and Pompeo are not getting that message. They're the ones who are orchestrating this thing. They're the ones who are working behind the scenes, trying to get everything lined up. And what I'm really concerned about is that they're going to paint Trump into a corner he won't be able to get out.
Sounds like a familiar narrative.
Yes.
And
it happened before in 2003.
We thank you.
Pleasure.
I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what?
All right, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to get all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. I'd like to say double honors to my apostles, a great millstone. They rule well, they teach well. I'd like to say peace and salutation to the hopeful elect and the Akim that's pushing this word of truth, that's scattered abroad. All right, and truth and sincerity. All right. This is the video that I just played just now called "Another Israeli Missile Attack Could Spark World War III," which this war is basically brewing so much to the point that it's finna be an all-out war, all right, between U.S. and all these different allied countries, man. Okay, so that's all part of prophecy, all right, and it's all written in the scriptures. And this is the reason why the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is basically orchestrating the war. The war has been orchestrated by the Lord, man. Okay. He controls the minds of the kings, man. Okay. No further ado, I'm gonna go to the scriptures, and this is basically a rumor of war right now, and basically the Israelis, they are already attacking Iran with missiles, okay, and it's basically started, okay, and it ain't in full scale yet, but it's starting. It's at the brink of the brinking point, okay, on this like on the skim surface right now, and these prophecies is gonna surely come to pass, man. All right. No further ado, I'm gonna go to Matthew 24:6. It said, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Right? You're gonna hear the reports of the hearsays, of these different news broadcasters about how the wars begin, how people orchestrated it, and all that. Okay. So you hearing wars and rumors, okay? You hearing the hearsays, you hearing the reports. On RT News, BBC, CNN, all these news outlets. See that ye be not troubled, okay? So we is not troubled, man, because we already know the prophecies that's coming to pass, man. It says, for all these things must come to pass. I just said it. That's through the Spirit. All these things must come to pass, man. All these prophecies that you see, that you see on these news outlets is going to come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, so we is not at we at the end, but the end is not yet, man. All right, Yahweh Shema Shai ain't returned yet. Okay, because when the war kick off on full scale, that's when Yahweh Shema Shai is going to step in. All right, and his host of angels. Okay, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So when nations rise against nation, okay, and these different kingdoms, all right, come against each other, it's going to be pestilence, it's going to be diseases, it's going to be earthquakes, everything's going to happen at once. It's going to be race wars, okay, all is going to happen at one time, man. All right. He said all these are the beginning of sorrow. So we living in the beginning of sorrows, man. We live in the time of rumors of wars. You know what I'm saying? So when it all kick off, man, and when it all said and done, everything's gonna kick off, and that's when the end's gonna come. All right. Let's go to Joel 3 and see Yahweh Shai is pleading with Israel, which is the so-called blacks, Latinx, and Native Americans. Okay, but he pleading with the elect though. He's not pleading with the 2/3. All right. I'm gonna go to Joel 3, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, for behold, the days and in the time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Okay, so basically, you know what I'm saying, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. All right. It says, I will also gather all nations, in which he's doing now. I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And the valley of Jehoshaphat goes back to the Hebrew word Yahweh Shaphat, means the Lord's judgment, man. The judgment of the Lord, man. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's the valley of Jehoshaphat. And we'll plead with them there for my people and for my heritage. And this is the reason why World War III is popping off, because Yahweh Shema Shai is pleading for Israel, man. That's the reason why all is happening. Okay, because all the rape, rob, murder, all the mayhem, slaughter of our people, man. And this is the reason why World War III is popping off, because of this. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot. Okay. So that was selling our people, you know what I'm saying, do the Atlanta slave trade, man. These other nations, including Esau, okay, was selling our people, man, and sold a girl for wine. So they was selling the girl for wine, the Israelite girl for wine, man. Okay, basically that was like trading our people for wine, man. Okay, so that goes back to slavery, that they might drink, yea. And what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Talking about you Africans, man. And all coast of Palestine. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, man. Let's look at the word recompense. Goes back to the Hebrew word gamol, means dealing, recompense, benefit. Okay. Dealing, recompense, benefit. Okay. It says, it has served benefit, desert, deserving that which has been given, recompense, reward. So the Lord gonna return a reward upon your head, man. Okay. It says, and if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Okay. So he gonna reward the same thing. He gonna reward you with the same thing that y'all did to us, man. Okay. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold and carry it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. So these other nations, man, stole all our valuables, all our resources. Okay. Esau, you know what I'm saying, during the time of the Romans, during 70 AD, they ramshacked our temple, the Solomon's temple, ran us out of Jerusalem, okay, and took all our precious metals, our precious gold, okay, our precious stones, rubies, and all those fine things, man. Okay. So that's the reason why the Lord is paying all y'all back with this third nuclear war, man. Okay. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Okay. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye sold unto the Grecians, and the Grecians is you Edomites, man. Okay. Talking about you other nations, you so-called Africans. All right. So y'all sold, and then you know the Arabs had something to do with it too. Y'all sold our people to Esau, man. All right. So that'll kill that blacks sold blacks to slavery. No, you so-called Africans, which is you Hamites, sold the so-called Negroes into slavery, man. All right. So we is not the same damn people, that ye might remove them far from their border. All right. And that's the reason why we got scattered. And say, for behold, I will raise them out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So basically, this was gonna happen. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of Jerusalem of Judah. children of Judah, hand of the children of Judah. So that's a prophecy that's waiting to happen, man. All right. It says, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Most High have spoken it. So this the prophecy that's gonna happen, man. Okay, we're gonna sell your daughters, your sons, far off too, like y'all sold our daughters and sons. Okay, so the same thing is gonna happen to you heathens. All right. It says, proclaim ye this among Gentiles, prepare war. All right. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay. Right. Because the war is going to take place up in the Persian Gulf, man, in the Middle East. That's where it's going to take place at, man. And this is the prophecies that's going to happen. All right. It says, it says, wake up the mighty men and let all them of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares to swords. All right. Your plowshares is your tools of agriculture. All right. He said beat it into swords, man. So y'all gonna have different tanks. Y'all gonna have machine guns and all that, man. All right. Y'all gonna have the missiles defense system, the S-500. All right. And your pruning hooks to spears. So the Lord is going to turn you heathens into warlords, man. Let the weak say, I am strong. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, you other nations, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which I said before, the valley of Jehoshaphat means, the Hebrew word Yahweh means the judgment of the Most High, man. So the Lord is going to judge you during the time of World War III. But y'all going to get y'all fight in. But the Lord, hey, man, the Lord is cold, man. It's going to be a bloody bath, man, in the Middle East. All right. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So it's going to be judgment on you heathens, man, because y'all sold our people and y'all put our people in slavery. All right. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is near in the valley of decision. That valley of decision, all right, is in the Middle East. And it say that's where all the wars, that's where World War III going to pop off at, man. All right. And I'm gonna go to Revelations 9 and 12. So this lets you know that it's talk about World War I and World War II. All right, and World War III. All right. So the Lord's gonna plead for us. All right, in that day. Let's go to Revelations 9 and 12. It says, one war is past, which that was World War One, during the time of Germany invaded Belgium in 1918 during the time of the global war in Europe. That's World War One. That was the history. All right. It said, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. That other woe, that second woe, was World War II, when Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party, when Germany invaded Poland. All right. And he was going for that political takeover in 1933. All right. That's the second World War II. That was World War II during the time of Adolf Hitler. All right. And two more woes come hereafter. All right. So what's gonna happen is the third woe is World War III. That's when I read in Joel third chapter. He said he's gonna gather all the heathens. All right. He's gonna gather all the heathens, man, in the Persian Gulf. Okay. And all these different allies of these different nations is gonna go against the United States, man. So United States gonna fight all these heathens, man. All right. So that's a third war. That's World War III. All right. That's what's gonna go down, man. And and I'm gonna go back to Joel. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Revelations 16:16. It says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And Armageddon means gathering of troops. So he's gonna gather all these troops, you know what I'm saying, in the Middle East to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the Lord gonna gather all the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. All right. So the third woe is World War III, and that's called Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? Armageddon is finna be it's finna be a war that man never once knew. Okay. So the Lord's gonna gather them together into the place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, man. So he's gonna gather all these nations into the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? To fight, man. And that goes back to Joel 3, the third chapter. The Lord said he's gonna plead for Israel. He's gonna plead for his people. And that's the reason why this World War III is gonna pop off, man. I'm gonna go to this last scripture, and it's gonna and you know what? I'm gonna go back to Joel real quick. Joel chapter 2:20. This gonna be the worst World War III, the world war ever, man. It says this Joel 2:20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army." That's the U.S. troops, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate. Okay, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. The utmost sea is the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things. So, man, look, the war is going to, and you know what? That's the war in Iran, okay? That war going to take place around Iran, Iraq, you know what I'm saying, in the Gulf Peninsula, okay? So that's where all matter of war is going to take place at. The Lord is moving all you U.S. troops into the Middle East, and all these wars going to take place in Armageddon's going to take place in the Middle East, man. And that's prophecy. Okay. So if you read Ezekiel 39:11, it tells you that Russia going to take place in it. Okay. All these different allies and all these different armies, they all going to fight. Okay. It ain't going to be just one country fight. No, it's going to be all countries fighting each other now, man. Okay. So this is going to be the worst war in history, man. Through the spirit power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. So with that, this is what's going to take place, man. All right. Damascus, Hamas. Okay. It's going to take place in Iran. All this going to take place in the Middle East through prophecy. All right. It's all in the scriptures. Okay. So with that, hope y'all was edified. And I say shalom. Shalom.